Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we have another positive news piece around Tesla stock. And just addressing the current share price and of course the movements that we've seen so far today, just keep in mind at this moment in time, especially as the stock market continues to decline a little bit and as we have more red days for Tesla, when you have positive news pieces like with today and the other things that I'll be discussing as well, when you have these happening and being released in a time where Tesla stock is pretty much going to be red regardless, just keep in mind that a lot of the times in these situations when there's really just a negative outlook on the stock at that moment in time, then these news pieces, like I said, won't have as big of an influence as they usually would. However, even with a lot of these news pieces, even in situations where it's actually really big news and something that's a game changer, if you pay attention to this information that's being released, a lot of the times it still doesn't even really affect the stock in a significant way unless it's like an earnings announcement, S&P 500 inclusion announcement, or of course just like a day on a big Tesla event. So before I get into this video, that's just one of those things that I really want to address, just because of the fact that a lot of the times you will have some really good news pieces come out, and even on a day where Tesla isn't far into the red, these news pieces may not have a significant effect on the stock price. However, if you are doing your research on the company and want to keep on learning more about the company, this is good for Tesla stock in the sense that you are getting information that you can infer on for later on, whereas most people are likely only going to realize what's going on once it has actually happened, and you kind of get that head start by learning about this information beforehand. So for example, let's say you start learning about the job listings for phase 2 in the Shanghai Gigafactory. Well, you can start making inferences from that and kind of come up with an idea of what we could see happening in the future. So for example, in the past, we've had job listings for designing a compact car. So investors could make inferences from that and then of course make financial decisions off of this early news that people are likely not going to react to until later on, like when the compact car is actually announced and showcased in video form. So it kind of gives these investors a head start when you start looking at things from the atoms up and before they actually lead to bigger things. So of course with this news video, I just want to emphasize that with a lot of these news pieces, we may not be able to attribute that news to a stock market movement, but you can certainly bet that analysts like Kathy Wood and Tasha Keeney are doing their research on these news pieces and keeping a lot of these things in mind. So that's why I always try to do these news videos about Tesla on the channel, because the more that we pay attention to what Tesla is doing right now, the bigger the head start we have in comparison to these other investors that just wait until it basically happens to start buying in. Like for example, once a compact car gets announced or once the Model Y starts ramping up the production in phase 2 in Shanghai, then of course we might start seeing more people buying in on Tesla stock. However, like with these news pieces that we've already been covering, we can infer from that information and choose whether we'd like to buy Tesla stock or not based off of that information and the fact that we are getting some early information that could lead to some big things in the future. So just important to keep that in mind, and especially like with a day like today where the general stock market is red and where Tesla is red as well, we're likely not going to see a positive news piece bounce Tesla all the way up into the green. And of course, when it's red, whether it's really far into the red or midway into the red, it's actually pretty difficult to determine whether a news piece actually brought it more towards the baseline or if it didn't have an effect at all. So just keep that in mind. Unless it's like an earnings announcement or absolutely huge news, it's likely not going to have like a visual impact on the share price, but this information is still definitely valuable when you want to get a head start compared to all of these other investors. So as always, if you enjoy the Tesla news videos, please make sure to smash that like button, and also feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull in the description below. Especially with Webull right now, I'm actually really close in the summer competition. I think I'm in like 44th place, and all I need to do is to get at least in 20th place to get a free Facebook share. And so if you all would like to try and help me get a share of Facebook stock, you can use my referral link to Webull and then deposit $100 into your account. And then it also helps you as well because you'll get 2 free stocks for doing that, valued up to $1,400. So you can help me, help you, best of both worlds. And then of course, if I win the summer competition, then that's a Facebook stock. I'll likely sell that one to put more money into Tesla stock. So it's a win-win for all of us. So I definitely appreciate the help on that. But just getting into this topic for today, this one is all about Dan Ives from Wedbush. And this is more specifically related to the stock price this time around. So recently we have done some videos talking about, of course, expansions in the company, new job listings and things like that, but this one is more specifically just related to the stock price. So let's go ahead and get into this news piece, and then I'll discuss a few things later and expand on it a little bit. So as you can see, this is an article from Business Insider and author Shalini Nagarajan, and this article is titled, "It's Tesla's World and Everyone Else is Paying Rent," says Wedbush analyst, who sees further upside for its shares. Now, keep in mind, this was released on September 3rd, so a day ago, probably 2 days ago if you're watching this on September 5th. But Dan Ives from Wedbush is actually someone that we've been getting more familiar with lately, as he has been talking about Tesla stock. He's been saying a few bullish things as well. So this is someone that definitely deserves a little bit of credibility, because they are mentioning some solid points about Tesla stock, especially recently. And so just getting into the key points of this article, it states, "It's Tesla's world and everyone else is paying rent in the EV market," according to analyst from Wedbush, Daniel Ives. And then another statement says, "Tesla is readying a 1,000,000-mile battery that could greatly reduce the cost of EVs and is scheduled to be announced at the upcoming September 22nd Battery Day event." And also, just to add something to that, I think there's a lot of hype around this 1,000,000-mile battery right now, but I think that could be only a small aspect of what we might see on Battery Day. We could possibly see some discussion around Tesla being more vertically integrated by creating their own battery cells rather than purchasing them from Panasonic, and we could just see some more expansions discussing the supply constraints and what they're going to do to solve that problem. So regarding the batteries, that is kind of one bottleneck right now, which is producing everything at scale for Tesla as the demand gets higher and higher for these different models, especially like the Model Y, and especially as the Cybertruck ramps up in 2021. And so kind of mentioning that as well, China is once again a big topic, in which he references strong demand from China, meaning that the shares have a lot more room to go, according to Daniel Ives. And so he does state that this is a stock that still has a lot more room to go, and then of course emphasizes that there's just a lot of people that don't like Tesla simply because they don't like Tesla. And we all know that, you know, to be a Tesla bull is honestly to be like the black sheep of the crowd, where you kind of get made fun of in the more casual investing communities for being bullish on Tesla. And this is something that I think all of us can identify with, especially if you've been bullish on Tesla for years and years now, up before this most recent run up, and especially before later last year, where Tesla kind of maintained like a plateaued position for like 4 years until we finally saw a run up. Honestly, I do believe those previous 4 years were simply because the stock was suppressed by analysts that were just completely bearish on Tesla. Very few people that were actually bullish on Tesla had a platform to speak. Of course, there were a lot of analysts going on CNBC and all of these other TV stations just basically saying that Tesla is going bankrupt and all of these really negative things, whereas now we've seen such a change around. And so I definitely feel for these people, especially the ones that have been into Tesla stock much earlier than I have. I became really interested in Tesla late last year. I honestly, before that, knew nothing about the company just because I was focused on school and my other jobs and things like that. So I didn't have time to learn anything about investing until towards the end of last year. And that's where I really became interested in Tesla stock and started to learn so much about it towards the end of last year and throughout this year as well. So I definitely feel for those investors that had it a lot worse for being bullish on Tesla before this huge run up that we've seen over the past year. So if you're watching, make sure to drop a comment down in the comment section letting me know, because I feel for you guys. I know it has to be tough defending yourself against all of these Tesla bears, Tesla Q. I know it has to be rough. So mad props for you all for sticking through all of that, ignoring it, learning to ignore that bad advice, and continuing to believe in your gut instincts. So mad props on that. At least we have more people with you all now, including myself. And so another statement from Dan Ives regards the topic of the 1,000,000-mile battery. And like I've said, I think Battery Day is going to be much more than just the topic of a 1,000,000-mile battery. And so according to Dan Ives, he states the combination of a 1,000,000-mile battery, a focus on price parity relative to traditional automobiles and third-party battery suppliers, and strong demand from China would help push its stock higher. So like I said, Dan Ives definitely deserves some credibility here. He's been one of those people lately that's actually gone out and been pretty bullish on Tesla. One of the reasons for his most recent upgrades as well has been Tesla's position in China, where they're of course ramping up production in early 2021 for the Model Y. They're starting this construction for phase 2 of that Shanghai Gigafactory. So like I've mentioned in previous videos, China has a huge role to play for Tesla. And honestly, as I've said in previous videos, if Tesla is going to use this most recent share offering funding for building a new Gigafactory, I honestly think they should do it in China, because as we know that they can pretty much build a Gigafactory faster than anyone else in the world. They've continued expanding onto the Shanghai Gigafactory. They produce the highest quality Model 3 vehicles in the world so far. We've already heard about that news piece where the quality on those being pumped out are really high quality compared to, like, of course, there has been some complaints about the quality control in the United States, but specifically with Shanghai and China, not only are they able to expedite this process of just ramping up production, but they're also able to continue with that high quality standard for the ones even when they're being produced at a higher rate. And another statement from Dan Ives states, despite potential speed bumps and increased competition in the future, Tesla's dominance of the EV market would not be a significant risk in the coming quarters, he said. So I have to agree with this person right here, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be a risk in the coming years as well. Stephen Mark Ryan from Solving the Money Problem has used a great analogy previously where he talks about if someone has started a race and they get like a 10-second head start and they finally say go for the other competition at the start line, yet both of the people racing are either similar speed or the person with the head start is actually faster than the person that's behind them, will the person behind them ever catch up? And the answer to that is simply no. So that's kind of what we can compare with Tesla right now, where Volkswagen and the CEO of Audi have stated that Tesla is 2 years ahead of them, but keep in mind, they're likely more than 2 years ahead of them. But that's just between me and you. Let's keep that a secret right now. So like I said, especially as Tesla continues to raise capital, like with this most recent share offering, this $5 billion is going to be very useful for them for scaling the business and, of course, possibly building more Gigafactories. And so that just widens the gap between Tesla and the competition in that foot race. And Tesla is likely moving even faster than the competition. Therefore, like I said, widening the gap even farther. And China is definitely playing a role with that distance widening, just because, as I've said in previous videos, the more vehicles that are getting pumped out right now, the more data of drivers on the road driving that can be used for training that neural net in the full self-driving AI, therefore helping Tesla get further ahead in terms of competition for being the first to perfect full self-driving. And Dan Ives also mentioned that everyone's going after Tesla in terms of the EV market and that they do have a target on their back. And of course, as we know, Tesla is at the forefront right now. They are the dominant EV automaker. And so every other company is either going to try to start from the ground up and do what Tesla is doing, or they're simply just going to try to copy them. And we've seen that already with companies like XPeng and etc. So another statement from Dan Ives says, we believe the stock split decision was a smart move by Tesla and its board, given the parabolic move in shares over the past 6 months. And then, of course, it does mention the most recent price target upgrade by Bank of America. And so that's the end of the article right there. But I do think Dan Ives is once again reiterating a point that we've already emphasized in these videos previously, but it's important to mention again, just so we understand what is going on with Tesla right now. And also keep in mind, Wedbush and Dan Ives do have a bull case for Tesla of $700 per share for the price target. So that's actually really nice as well, considering the share price is at $392 per share right now. And then also just addressing this last news piece as well. This is an article from CNBC by author Sam Sheed, and the article is titled, Germany tells Elon Musk he can have whatever he needs for the new Berlin plant. So as we know, the Berlin Gigafactory is being developed right now. And so I just thought this was an important small news piece. And as it states down here, it says Germany's economy minister told Musk he'll have every assistance in building a new Gigafactory on the outskirts of Berlin. So obviously I just wanted to end this news video with that small news piece as well, just because of the fact that is showing some more forward-looking statements regarding the development of the Berlin Gigafactory. And so that news piece just sprinkles a little bit on top, basically emphasizing that this is going to go very well for Elon Musk and Tesla, just because they're going to have every single bit of assistance that they need, which is exactly what you would love to hear as a foreign automaker building a factory in the country. So that's important to keep in mind, because Europe is definitely one of those markets that need to be tapped for Tesla, because right now there's a strong market in the United States, there's a strong market in China, a little bit in the UK as well, but now I think this new Gigafactory in Berlin will have a big impact on the things going on in Europe for Tesla. But anyways, I just wanted to share this news piece with you all. I do think that these things are important to keep up with, and please make sure to smash that like button if you all enjoyed this video, and also feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks, and like I said earlier, with Webull, you can sign up with my link and deposit $100 into your account. You'll get 2 free stocks, and you'll also help support the channel, which I greatly appreciate. But hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Definitely going to be a long weekend with Labor Day being on Monday, so I hope you all have a fantastic Labor Day weekend. But stay safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.